I'm an instructional coach with the Belton School District. I primarily work with grades 7 through 12 at Belton Middle and Belton High Schools, and I also work with Canvas. We want to welcome you to the 2020-21 school year. Belton School District is absolutely committed to delivering instruction to all students. That includes our land pirates who are in person and our e-pirates who are at home. In order to accomplish this, both Belton High and Belton Middle School teachers use Canvas to deliver content, grades, and communication. The purpose of this screencast is to give adults the tools and resources to help students be successful with Canvas. After you watch this video, you won't be an expert, but hopefully you will have the tools to help your student and you'll know where to find the resources if you get stuck. So what is Canvas? Canvas is a learning management system that allows teachers to communicate daily expectations with students, deliver instruction through videos and text, give assignments and quizzes electronically, grade assignments electronically, and so much more. As a parent, you can become an observer of your student's account. Observers can see assignments, due dates, announcements, and other course content. However, they are not able to participate in the course. To become a parent observer, if you're not already, I recommend that you pause this video, go to the URL that you see in the yellow circle, enter that into your web browser. That will give you a Google Doc that details the instructions on how to become a parent observer for Canvas. If you are already an observer of one student and you'd like to add another student, I will be showing you how to do that later in this screencast. A parent observer can create and access their accounts on any device. On the computer, use your web browser and go to bsd.instructure.com. You should see a window just like the one that you see on the right. On your smartphones and tablets, there's an app for that. Download it from your app store. I included a picture on this slide. Alright, so now to add an additional student to a Parent Observer account. As you can see, I already have a login, so I'm going to log in. You can see my daughter's course cards populate the dashboard, but I need to add my 7th grade son. So I'm going to go to Accounts, and then I'm going to click Observing. Then I'm going to enter the pairing code that I got from my son's Canvas account. Remember, the instructions to finding a pairing code are in that link that I shared in a couple of slides ago. I add the pairing code. Now I'm going to push plus student. Wait for it to load. And now I'm observing Bryce Gibson. I can go back to my account dashboard and see that not only do I have my daughter's classes, I also have my son's. On both my high school and middle school students' accounts, there are a lot of things I can do. First, I want to set up my notification preferences. This is a really important step because this determines how notified I am, especially in my email. To get to notification preferences, you may have a box that's located right here that prompts you to change your notification preferences. I suggest you do it. If it's not there, you can get through to that through account and notifications. Once you're on notification preferences, there are default ones. I believe that the default for the two that I'm most concerned with, announcements and grades, are the check mark. If you look up here, the check mark means to notify me right away, which means every time an announcement is made, I get an email. I could have it marked as send a daily summary, send a weekly summary, or don't send anything at all. Now let's talk about announcements. Announcements are where your teachers, your child's teachers, will be putting the daily agenda. This means a list of things that the student is supposed to accomplish each class period. Each time a teacher sends an announcement, I get an email, which means I could get up to 16 emails just from announcements every day. As a parent, I like that because I don't have to go into Canvas in order to have a discussion with my students about what they did that day. However, you may not enjoy getting 16 emails or 8 emails in your inbox. So you are welcome to change that to a daily notification or to a weekly one. Or maybe you just don't want to know at all. You only want to know when you log into Canvas. The other one that can inundate your inbox is grading. Every time an assignment is graded, I get an email an hour later that tells me it was graded. I don't have it marked to tell me the score, so I do have to go into Canvas to find that out. I'm still deciding whether I want to keep this notify me right away, or if I'm okay with getting a daily summary. I may come in and change that later. Once you've gone through your notification preferences and decided how notified you want to be and when, then you can go out of there. There's no save button. Now let's go back to the dashboard. The dashboard is where I get to all of my child's courses. However, I have 2 children, so this is pretty overwhelming. There are some things that you can do to change the overwhelmingness of it. See how this is Brianna's English class, so I've nicknamed it Brianna English. To do that, I just click the dots, rename it. I can change the color if I want to, and press apply. Now I can see Brianna, and I could do that to the rest of these. I could also change Bryce's course names. Bryce Arts. Let's make it that color. Okay. The other thing that I can do is organize these cards so that they're in some sort of order that makes sense to me. I think it makes sense for all of Brianna's courses to be in the same place, so I'm checking. Sure enough, I have Bryce on the bottom and Brianna on the top, so that's perfect. But you can move the cards around by simply dragging and dropping them where you want them to go. The next thing we'll go over is navigating a course. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to choose Brianna's Poetry and Creative Writing course. When you get into a course, the first thing you should see at the top is recent announcements. As I talked about in notifications, your child's teachers should be using announcements for the daily agenda. They should be right at the top. There are 2 here because they've only been in school for 2 days, but once the third one is added, there will always be 3 here at the top. All I have to do as a parent or as a student is to click on the day's date. So Brianna had this class yesterday. Here's what she did. She had no bell work. They went over a survey that they started in the other class. They went over the syllabus, so I can click there to get to a link to the syllabus. I then can go back to the announcements and finish seeing what she did. So for a walk in the forest activity. The next thing I can do is go into modules. This is an organized way of keeping the assignments. I can see here, first day quiz, and I can even see the due date and how many points it was worth. Now, if I want to find out, did she do that assignment, I can go into grades. When I get into grades, I see the assignment, her score, and then I can see her total score. She has 100% in this class right now. This will be changing with your student's grade, with the teacher's grading. So this is the most up-to-date way to find out what your child is earning in his or her grades. While we're talking about grades, there is an expectation for teachers at both buildings on Monday mornings to sync the grades from Canvas into SIS, which is the parent and student portal. That means the only time the parent portal will be 100% up to date is Monday morning. After that, students will be doing work in Canvas and assignments will be graded there. So if you would like the most up-to-date grade for your student, you should always check the Canvas gradebook. That being said, remember, teachers do have some time to get grades done, so just because a student turned in an assignment does not necessarily mean it will be graded right away. You can tell if a student completed an assignment because there will be an icon next to the assignment if it's not graded yet in the gradebook. So right here would show an icon to show that she has turned it in. If it shows a dash, that means it's not turned in yet, or it was turned in on paper and not graded yet. And if there's a score, then that is the score. Next, let's go over messaging the teacher. This is the global navigation bar. This icon, inbox, is always there. You can email any one of your students' teachers by simply clicking the course you want to email. So if I want to email Bryce's advisory teacher, I can click that, then I click this pencil, and I can send a message to his teacher. I can give it a subject, just like an email, and then I can press send. Next is the calendar. The calendar is a really helpful tool that many of our students don't really use. But the cool thing about it is when a teacher puts in a deadline, that assignment is populated onto the calendar. So I can see the work that my students had to do. Your students can change what is on their calendar by looking on the right side and seeing which ones are filled in. So, for example, I see this one's green, so if I click this green one, it turns off. If I turn it back on, now it's there. So this can help you decide which ones you want to populate onto the calendar. This calendar also syncs with Google if you know how to do that. If you don't, I'm about to show you where more Canvas resources are for you and your student. So, do you want more training? If in your student's advisory course, there is a module that includes more training. Every single student has an advisory course. So I'm going to find Bryce's advisory course. Right here. Then I can go into modules and it's right here. Actually, it's on the home page, but I could also click modules. This teaches him all about these topics. At the end is a Canvas student guide. This guide links to the actual Canvas videos and training pages on 200 different topics. So this is a great place to go if your student is working at home as an e-pirate and doesn't know how to do something. Have them go into advisory and then find that student guide at the end of that module. That is a very helpful tool for everyone. All right, so that is all I have for this screencast. If you have any questions or just want more help or information, feel free to email me, Laura Gibson, at lgibson@bsd124.org. I look forward to hearing from you and helping the students, you, and the teachers all be successful with Canvas this year.